Hey there, guys. So, day 8 on the front squat every day. Keeping calories definitely under 3,000, losing body fat, which is nice. I don't think I've lost much in the way of strength. However, I definitely am not in a peaked state. So, I'm sort of basing my strength off rep work for the bench press and shoulder press work. Um, Abs are slowly getting there. Still have a very, very long way to go. Um, but that's something I'm going to continue to work on. Uh, Something I was going to talk about was stretches for the lower back, as I'd been asked previously. So this is just a screenshot. I find getting in this position and then letting my body weight drag across where my knees, or extending my legs straight while trying to keep my upper back pinned to the ground really helps me stretch out my QL. And for a lot of people, that can be a muscle that becomes incredibly tight. So I do that for both sides, and that's just one of the stretches I use. The second one is this one here, typically used to stretch the hamstrings. If you really want to stretch the hamstrings, you'd sit more upright and then lean forward, as you'll get more of a stretch in the hamstrings. But for me, I sort of slouch and I'm trying to really round my back forward and grab my toes as much as possible. And I find that gives me a real good stretch in the mid to lower back as opposed to the previous one. If I want to take it up a notch in terms of difficulty, I progress to this. So I bend one knee. As you can clearly see, absolutely no mobility today. But you'd work towards, being able to touch your toes. And you do that for either side. And again, the more upright you sit, the more you're going to feel it in your hamstring. The more you sort of slouch forward and lean forward, the more you're going to feel it in your mid to lower back instead. And then when it comes to the QL, again, I keep that position, but I drop my hands off to the side. Ideally, you'd want to have your hands being completely flat on the ground. I'm too immobile, or I'm just not flexible enough. But that's something I'll have to work on. And if I have significant tightness in my lower back, this is a stretch that I also use. So it allows me to hit the QL from two different angles, as well as a little bit more mid to low back as well. And then I swap it over to the other side. Again, on this side, definitely can't touch the ground, but it's something that I would strive for. And for a lot of people, lower back can become an area that gets ridiculously tight and sore. A good way of combating lower back pain is also to help strengthen your abs, glutes and hamstrings, as they play a big role in helping to stabilize the pelvis. So that's pretty much it for the lower back stretches. Today I also did the pull-ups as well. I only did 2 sets of 10. I wasn't going to try and hit a new PR of like 18 reps or anything like that, simply because my forearms still feel spent from Friday's heavy dumbbell press work. Shoulders feel absolutely fine. There's no DOMs in them whatsoever. But when I was pressing that weight overhead, I was really gripping the dumbbell as tight as I possibly could. And that sort of sent my forearm muscles into overdrive, and they just take time to recover. They got some significant DOMs, so I'm not going to push it on the pull-ups because my grip would just end up giving out. I do, however, try and work into one of these front levers on my second set. Then the front squats, just worked up to 85 kilos, so I just did my normal light bodyweight squats first, just to warm up, set of 20, and then straight into the front squats. Knee joint and everything else like that felt a lot more recovered. I didn't have the slight DOMs, which sort of felt more in my quadricep tendon, patella tendon, ligament, sort of region. So really happy with that. The technique, pretty much on point. I could probably sit a fraction lower and get a little bit more depth, but I was just trying to get the reps done. Heart and lungs still felt it, as I hadn't eaten much when I did these squats. But as a whole, everything's moving really quite well. I'm probably going to keep it at 85 kilos for definitely in the next few days, but we'll see what happens. If you guys haven't already, hit like and subscribe, and have a great day wherever you are.